Barb Wire. What a movie this is. Let's get into it. So Barb Wire is from 1996. It lasts about an hour and 35 minutes and it stars Pamela Anderson as the titular Barb Wire. The opening titles to the movie are Pamela Anderson as Barb Wire doing a sexy dance
Ooh la la.
in water and with her chest hanging out. You catch a couple of glimpses of nudity at the start of the movie. Yeah, right, and then it turns out she's dancing in a club and some guy in the audience is cheering and going, yeah, take it off, Daddy.
Take it off!
As you'd expect drunken, leery, creepy guys to do in these types of establishments. Barb Wire, she doesn't like this at all. She takes off her high heel and throws it into the guy's face.
Ouch.
Kills him. But much. And do you remember why? Yeah, she says she doesn't like being called Dade.
Don't call me
She
babe.
does not like being called babe. In fact, I think one of the taglines for the movie is, "Don't call me babe." After this, Barb Wire goes backstage to the chill out area and she's with the other dancers. Yeah, one of them is Chinese, right? And she says something in Chinese and Barb Wire is so confused. Yeah, it's a strange little beat in this movie. It's a strange little movie. We find out the reason Barb Wire is in this club, posing as a dancer, is she's a bounty hunter and she's trying to collect a bounty. So the club manager speaks to her afterwards. Yeah, he's sleazy. She offers him a cigarette, I think it is. Yeah, and it's actually a dart. She blows a dart into his head and knocks him out. Did she kill him? I don't know, I think she just knocks him out. But this gives her the chance to go to the freezer in the club. Yeah, and she finds a girl. Yeah, a teenage girl who has been kidnapped and held hostage in this freezer of this nightclub. Yeah. So Barb, and don't call her that. It sounds strange, doesn't it? Yeah. So Barb Wire and the young girl make their escape. How? Well, Barb Wire has a zipline, like a little grappling hook zipline, just like in Batman. Yeah. And do you know what she says? Do you know what her line is here? She says,
What are you doing? Ever see Batman?
have you ever seen that, man? Just make it more obvious that it's a direct rip-off. So the zip line to safety. Barb Wire takes the teenage girl to her parents who are waiting in an underground garage. Yeah, and they say, they can't actually afford to pay your full bounty price. We're so sorry. Is there anything else you can do? She takes their car. Yeah. Lee's then stranded in a dangerous part of the city. At midnight. Our hero. By the way, we should mention at the start of this movie, it opens actually before the dance sequence with a scroll. Right, and it says, in 2017 there's a second US Civil War. The country is a wasteland. There's one place that's not at war. Steel Harbour. The city where Barb Wire lives and works. Yeah. I mean, it's still a hellhole. After this, we cut to a couple who are on the run. Yeah, they seem to be husband and wife. And they're being chased by cops and military. Yeah, and they need to get to Steel Harbour. By the way, I do have a bit of a cold today, so apologies if my voice is not quite right. Yeah, I've got a cold as well. Right. So it turns out this couple who are on the run from the military actually possess rare DNA. Yeah, the female, she has DNA in her that can sort of change the world. I guess so.
Whatever you say.
When we come back to Barb Wire, we find out she owns a nightclub. Yeah, and she's got like this man-servant, and she's got another guy who's blind, and I think he's her brother. Yeah. Yeah.
Who the hell cares?
Straight away, she's back out on another bounty, and she poses as an escort. Yeah, so she goes to this dead room of this guy in a hotel, and she knocks him out, and then she dusts through the wall to where she actually wants to be, and takes out some bad guys. And one of the guys calls her Dade. Yeah, she doesn't like being called babe, as we said, so she shoots him about 20 times. And then she takes the guy who she's actually after, her bounty, and she takes him back to whoever's paying. Although she is very upset because she's broken a nail. Yeah, this movie. Back at the club, Barb Wire has changed into a nice outfit. Yeah, and she just randomly dances with some guy. He asks, do you want to dance? And she says, yeah. And it looks like, is this going to be a romantic part of the movie? A little love story? Not, because the cops come in and start arresting people at random. Yeah, and we never see that guy again. I don't know why that scene's in the movie. No. But that guy's probably happy. Now, the leader of the cops in Steel Harbour is this guy called Willis, and he's kind of got a little friendship going with Barb Wire. Kind of mutual understanding. But he's pretty friendly. But the next day, a special police team turn up from Washington. These are Willis's bosses, and they're hard-nosed. Yeah, hard-assed. Yeah. Now, after they've been introduced, we go back to the club and we see the couple on the run have made it to Barb Wire's club. So they come in, they speak to Barb Wire. Wow, it's been a long time, Axel. Yeah, so the husband, the guy of the couple, he's her ex, he's Barb Wire's ex.
A little bit awkward.
And they served together at the start of the US Civil War 2. Yeah, Civil War 2. But they went their separate ways, and she hasn't seen him for years. Yeah, so she's like, what are you doing turning up here with your new wife? Anyway, I can't help you. Yeah, so they leave the club and they're instantly ambushed. Yeah, but it turns out it's a friendly ambush because it's a group of rebels who are like against the police. We get a little flashback scene of Barb Wire in a helicopter about to leave a mission during the war. Yeah, she's in camouflage, she's in like all her army gear and a full face of makeup. And she's lamenting the fact that they have to take off. They have to go without finding Axel. Yeah. What a rubbish scene. Later, the police team from Washington see footage of Barb Wire speaking with this couple on the run, so they set up a warrant for her arrest. Yet, But that night we see Barb Wire relaxing in a bubble bath. Yeah, it's like a see-through bath, right? And she's got all these doodles on her. And when she stands up, because she hears someone coming in, she stands up and the doodles just stick to her in all the right places. So luckily, we don't see anything. Luckily. Yeah, okay. It's Axel who has come in. So she goes and speaks to him. She's still naked. Yeah, they have a big kiss. And they go down the elevator together. And she wraps herself up in a towel. Yeah. And the wife is at the bottom of the elevator. She sees them kissing, but she doesn't care. She's not bothered. Big whoop. Yeah, it's a bit weird. But then she reveals, actually, it's not really a marriage. We just have to work together. And getting married seemed like the right thing to do. What? Although they do say, at first the marriage was fake. Yeah. So does that mean it's real now? They've grown to love each other? That she's still okay with her husband kissing Pamela Anderson? I don't know either. Now the couple, particularly the wife, need to get to Canada where there is no war and where her DNA can be used to save the world or something. Yeah. But to get to Canada, she has to pass through customs, and to pass through customs, she needs a special pair of contact lenses which will hide her identity.
That's the story.
Now, during the film, the rebel group is taken out by the Washington cops. Yeah, and in that fracas, the Charlie, her blind brother, he gets hold of the contact lenses somehow, so he's got them secretly. And Barb Wire says, listen, I'll take them, and you can use them. And then Axel and his wife can use them to get out of the country. Yeah. So Barb Wire heads off to a meeting in a scrap yard. Yeah, with this big giant guy who lives in a digger. Yeah, like the skit tart of the digger. He just lives in that as if it's his throne. And he's this big giant guy, and he smokes cigars, and he's like, oh, give me the contact lenses, I'll give you all this money, and I'll give you a free pass out of the country. Yeah, he seems to be pretty powerful. He's like a gang lord. Yeah, I guess so, yeah. Well, she goes to meet him. Charlie is found by the Washington cops and tortured and killed. Yet, he didn't see that coming. The trash guy, gang lord, hands over the money and the passes for free passage, and he takes the contact lenses. Yeah, but then it turns out it's a setup.
We've been ratted out here, boys.
So Barb Wire, Axel and his wife are actually ambushed by the Washington cops. The trash man sold them out. They're all being arrested, but then Willis slips Barb Wire a grenade. Yeah, so she's like, I've got a grenade. And she just throws it. There's no strategy, no threats. She just literally goes, look, here's a grenade, and throws it. Everyone scatters. Grenade actually lands in the lap of the big guy in the digger. So he goes in. Barb Wire and the married couple get in a truck and they start to escape. Yeah, and the Washington cops gives chase. And it's a big chase through this big giant scrapyard down the docks. So all these cops are chasing this van. And Barb Wire bursts out the back of this van on a motorbike. Like Captain America in the 70s. I don't know where she got the motorbike. I don't know how she knew a motorbike was in there. It's not her van. Anyway, she bursts out on a motorbike. She starts taking out cops left, right and centre. By the way, the bike also fires missiles. So she takes out a lot of the cops easily. And then it comes down to Barb Wire and the head of the Washington police. Yeah. And then Axel and his wife start to flee. And then Axel decides, oh no, wait, I'll stay as well. So he stays. So there's a big gun battle between Barb Wire and the chief of police. And then while Axel's coming back, Barb Wire is on her motorbike. And she's sitting in front of this warehouse. The chief of police comes out in a forklift, smashes into her, picks up her motorbike and rams her. It looks pretty bad for her. She's been lifted up, she's been forced forward, and she's trapped. She can't get off the bike. Axel sees what's going on. He climbs into a crane about 200 feet up in the air, into the cockpit of it, and he starts to control the crane. He lifts up the forklift and the bike. Yeah, so now Barb Wire and the chief of police are fighting at about 100 feet in the air, dangling on this machinery. Oh, it's looking bad. Actually, when Axel gets into the cockpit of the crane, I know who you're going to say. There's this guy in it. He's a nice guy. And Axel says, which lever makes it go up and down? And the guy says, this one. All friendly and happy. And Axel says, which one makes it turn? And he says, this one. And then Axel just knocks him out. He's a nice guy. He's helping you. Yeah, he's not working in the police or anything. The one thing about this fight on the forklift and bike 100 feet in the air is it's all practical. That's true. It's not like CGI, people. It's not cartoons. It's not like terrible close-ups. It's well shot. It's well filmed. Good practical stunts here. Barb Wire manages to free herself. She starts to climb up the chain of the crane. Yeah. And the police chief is lying on top of the forklift because she kicked him. And he says, hey, I never told you my favourite song. Yeah, why did they say that? Was it a callback to earlier in the movie? It probably was. I never noticed. And what's his favourite song? And what does he tell Barb Wire his favourite song is? I Got You, Dead. I got you. So Barb Wire reaches up, pulls out the pin connecting the hook to the crane, to the forklift, and says,
Don't call me babe.
Don't call me babe, as the police chief falls to his doom. It's just a song title. He hits the ground in a fire explosion. It seems like all is good with the world. We cut to the airport at night. It's raining. Yeah, Axel and Barb Wire and Axel's wife are getting ready to leave the country. Get into security control, customs. The wife puts in her contact lenses and scans her eyes, and that's it. She's through. That's what this whole movie's been about, getting these contact lenses so she can cross the border. That's a bit strange. Anyway, Axel and his wife got on the plane. Barb Wire has a last minute change of heart. She says she's going to stay here, she's going to stick around and see what other trouble she can get into. Yeah, and for some reason Willis is there as well. She says goodbye to them, she starts to head back into the city. Yeah, and then Willis says,
I do believe I'm falling in love.
I do believe I'm falling in love. And Barb Wire says, get in line.
Get in line.
Credits. Did you notice all about the credits? What? Well, The cast is listed in alphabetical order. Alright, is that so that Pamela Anderson can do first? Or because her name's A. It's listed alphabetically by first name. But her name's first anyway, right? Nope, her name is way down in the cast list. Someone obviously didn't like her, because why would you do that to the main star? They must have thought, they'll put it alphabetical order so she won't be first. And then they thought, oh, her name's Anderson, so she will be first or second, or, you know, let's do my first name, which is something no one ever does. So she's way down the cast list. Yes, I didn't mean, it is, when she's a star of the movie, it is a bit harsh to do that to your lead actor.
Assholes.
Barb Wire, what do you think? Well, I wouldn't recommend it. No. What do you think? What did you like about it? Practical stunts. That's good. The practical stunts. And it's not too long. That's true. Hit like, hit subscribe. I'll see you next time. Don't call me dead.